Tell me if this is true. 6 months ago, you set new goals, a better business plan, more revenue and growth and better leadership, more freedom, more time back, a bigger year. Now here we are. So let me ask you honestly, are you executing at the level required for the business you said you wanted, or are you still operating at the level that created the old ceilings that you lived with? Because right now, a lot of people are blaming the market, the interest rates, the economy, competition, and AI, of course. Consumer confidence is off. Meanwhile, there are people in the exact same markets growing, hiring, leading, and moving. Same markets, different operators. Stay with me for a minute. You hit the numbers you set 6 months ago, and the day you crossed it, you felt nothing. Or maybe you felt it for 3 days and then the pressure came back to do something higher or different. Most people respond to that by setting bigger goals. That's usually where the cycle repeats. I'm Bill Foss, 40 plus years building, scaling, and leading businesses. I built and scaled a brokerage across 23 cities and towns, national recognition. There came a point where I had the awards wall and knew exactly what I should be doing next, but I wasn't doing it. I told myself I was being strategic. Truth is, I started hesitating, avoiding, overthinking decisions I would have made in 10 minutes years earlier. And then it continued to get worse. I spiraled down. It's a costly story, personally and professionally. In the end, I sold those brokerages. Not long after, I pivoted back into real estate through another national brand and called it a smart move. Looking back, it was actually a retreat to what I knew because the identity running me hadn't changed. Built it, lost it, rebuilt it, hire, fire, rehire. F it, I'll just do it myself. I know all the patterns because I lived them. After I started working with our high performers, I used to teach tactics first, and then strategies, and then alignment in my famous Your Business, Your Life, Your Way program. People liked it, and I kept watching the same thing happen. Smart people, capable people with real plans, still not executing consistently when it mattered. That's when I found the real constraint. It sits underneath strategy, underneath motivation, underneath accountability that people ask for all the time. It's the identity. Here's what it looks like on a Tuesday. The proposal that's been ready since Monday still sits in draft mode. The fee you quoted, direct and confident, that is until you kept talking. By the time you stopped, the fee had moved. Lower, of course. The hire you thought about for 90 days, still no offer letter sent. The conversation you keep rehearsing instead of having. One of those is a bad day. The pile of them is the tell. And here's the frustrating part. You already know what to do. This isn't a strategy problem. You're skilled. You're informed. You're up to the latest and best, right? The issue is who's making the decision when the pressure shows up. The version of you running the day that was built for an earlier level. When you had more margins, more room for error, more ability to grind your way through things. Now, more people depend on you. The decisions cost more. The margins for error feel smaller. And the same operator that got you here is trying to run a completely different race. You want to go bigger while quietly wondering what happens if things slip backwards. There's an internal ceiling with external pressure stacked on top. More effort from the same version of you usually turns into more pressure, more mental noise, more pushing, harder, and you trust yourself less. I call this identity capacity. As responsibilities grow, people keep operating from the same version of themselves that got them there. So then you hesitate, you overthink, you stay busy instead of decisive. You drag decisions out over weeks that should have taken days or even minutes. Every high performer I work with eventually hits this ceiling, not always exactly the same. From outside, they look completely dialed in. Inside, they know exactly what I'm talking about. Here's the mechanism in plain English. Identity shapes what you notice. What you notice shapes your decisions. Decisions eventually become actions, right? and those actions create results. Change the operator underneath the decisions, and that whole sequence changes. Mindset is downstream of this. Discipline is downstream of this. Productivity systems are downstream of this. And then there's mindset, right? I often say mindset's like the app on your phone. Identity is the operating system underneath the app. When the operating system hasn't been upgraded, every new app you install starts behaving like the old system underneath it. The strategy wasn't wrong. The operator running it hadn't changed. When the identity catches up, behavior starts showing up differently. Less second guessing, less rehearsing conversations over and over in the shower. You stop needing to manage yourself all day long and just do what you know already matters. For example, Jim Bell runs MSource. His company supports the mortgage industry. After we worked together for a very short time, here's what he kept coming back to. My calendar doesn't look like a to-do list anymore. It looks like opportunities and things that I wanted to do, not things I have to do. That's not a productivity upgrade. That's a different relationship to the day. I built Shift iOS for exactly this. It's part of the performance identity system, a structured 6-step process for upgrading the identity, operating your business so that perceptions, decisions, and execution start matching the level you're stepping into. I run it inside of a very small group called Shift iOS iCore. It's 9 weeks, 10 seats, 1 session a week. The founders cohort is open right now for $9.97. 2 seats are already filled. When all 10 are filled, it moves to $19.97. No countdown timers, no fake urgency. It's a real cap, real seats. Identity first. What you already know how to do finally starts showing up consistently. This is what gets handled. Go to billfoss.com/founders. That's billfoss.com/founders and take a look.